Good morning. Did you eat? Was it good? Well, let's give the workers a round of applause who did such a good job with us this morning. I sure appreciate them. Before I get to my talking points, what was her name? Angelita? The young woman who came up here and spoke about Annalita. Give Annalita another round of applause. I think a lot of us in this room, we get a lot of extra pats on the back for, standing up for our beliefs and, being so courageous to, tweet. Sign petitions. Man, I've signed so many petitions. Can't intimidate me. I'll sign another one. Click. Can you imagine walking into your office, your place of work, and standing up in front of a bunch of people and saying, hey, what's happening here at this work, if this job isn't right? That takes a lot of courage. And I also want to I think I owe her an apology. I always check the green choice. I do. I go in the hotel, I want the green choice. And I check the little thing, and I think I'm doing good. I never ask a worker about it. I never in my life ask a worker in a hotel, what do you think about this green choice? And that's part of why I'm here and part of why I'm so happy to be supporting 1631. Because it includes everybody. There is a great danger that well-intentioned people like us, if we just get in our own room, talk to our own friends, and come up with our own policies, might come up with stuff that may help over here and really hurt over there and never even know it. And the thing I'm most excited about when it comes to this ballot measure is that this is not just doing the right thing, it's doing the right thing the right way with the right coalition that includes everybody. The coalition that is backing this includes Native American folks who have so much wisdom and so much to say and who often are left out. It includes Latino, Latina, Latinx folks who are often on the front lines of the pollution and not able to access the solutions. It includes African Americans, it includes young people, it includes women, it includes rural folks. When you get everybody together, you can come up with solutions that really solve the problem. And that's been a long time coming for our environmental movement. And so I want to just testify about what can happen when you get the coalition right. Not just the policy on paper, because you won't even get that right if you don't have everybody participating. But even once you get the policy on paper, you got to get the people. And you got to get the alignment. And people got to love each other and care about each other and listen to each other. But if you're able to do that, in California, we've been able to move $2 billion with a B from the pockets of polluters into poor communities. $2 billion with a B taken from polluters and used to invest in low-income, low-wealth, low-opportunity communities. What does that mean? That means you have folks who are in the Central Valley in California, who when it gets hot there, their energy bills go through the roof. And they're sometimes having to spend hundreds on hundreds of dollars that they don't have just to keep their homes cool. Those people got low-cost and some no-cost solar panels, and their energy bills fell to $0 or to $3. And those hundreds of dollars of savings could then be used for other purposes. This is real stuff. What it means, at least in our state, is that we were able to create an opportunity for farm workers to be able to have support in carpooling So everybody doesn't have their own raggedy, polluting car that's hurting their lungs and their pocketbooks, but they were able to carpool and save money and begin to clean up the air. Everybody can't get a hybrid, but we can share and get support in that. That has made a tremendous difference. This is real stuff. And the crazy thing about it is that because in California we made sure the benefits were urban and rural, help low-income white folks as well as low-income people of color, you can't change our policy in California. Republicans will beat you up in the parking lot if you try to change our cap-and-trade program, because our cap-and-trade program takes, I think, a quarter out of every dollar and invests it in poor communities. And you've got Republicans now standing up in too many ribbon-cutting ceremonies. And sometimes the only thing they can say that they've done for anybody is because of this program. And they will beat you up in the parking lot if you try and change this. So it's bipartisan, it's multiracial, it's stable, it's making a difference. And you have a chance to do that here in Washington State. Now, not based on a legislative deal, but based on the people themselves getting together and voting in. The first time it's ever happened in the history of the country. That's what's in front of you. It's a tremendous opportunity. It's just a tremendous, tremendous opportunity. And I wish I could say that all the work I'm describing is work that I had done myself, but like most men, I'm talking about somebody else's work. So I think it would be appropriate for me to actually acknowledge the young woman who helped to lead this effort in California, who is now leading our national effort as the National Director of Green for All. I believe she's in the room. Her name is Michelle Romero. Can you stand up and you give a round of applause to the young women? Michelle, where are you? I don't see you. Well, where are you? Oh, over there? There she is, way over there. Stand up, no, stand back up, stand back up. Yeah, there she is. Now, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. We have this new generation that's rising up. And they want to live. They want to live. They want to be able to have a home that's not in danger of getting burned down or washed out. They don't want to be a part of the 20, 30 million climate refugees that are being predicted by mid-century. They want to be able to go to a park. They want to be able to go outside in the summer. They want to be able to raise kids that aren't sick. They want to live. They want to live. And we got an opportunity to help them do that. And it's not going to happen unless we change our thinking about each other, continue doing that. We need a green growth alliance, a green growth alliance that includes the best of our business people, that includes the best of our political leaders, that includes the people who are on the front lines and who were hit first and worst by everything negative in the pollution-based economy. They need to be, they shouldn't be left to benefit last and least in the clean energy economy. The people who suffered Hurricane Katrina and the other poor folks who've still not recovered from these big storms that have come down. The people who live right next to the incinerators, the people who live right next to the toxic dumps, the kids who are walking into public schools and setting off metal detectors, not because they have a gun or a knife, but because they all have asthma inhalers, because the air's so bad. Those kids and their families should be first in line to get the jobs putting up the solar panels, to get the jobs planting the trees, to get the jobs weatherizing homes. We can fight pollution and poverty at the same time. We can fight pollution and poverty at the same time if we want to do that. And that's what this ballot measure is all about. That's what Green for All is fighting for. That's what you're fighting for. And it's not optional. It's not PC. What we saw in Nevada, it's been fixed now, but we saw in Nevada what happens when you leave out poor people and you leave out people of color and you ram through a bunch of solar policies and solar regulations and solar initiatives that everybody on the green side is so happy about. What happened? The polluters went right behind us and they talked to all those communities that we didn't talk to. And they said, guess what? These rich, white environmentalists have now passed policies where they will have free energy, solar panels for them, clean energy for them, and higher bills for you, because when they jump off the grid, you're stuck. And there was a backlash alliance between polluters and poor people that wiped out, in Harry Reid state, all of the solar support. And we took years to get that back on the books. So we can either have a backlash alliance between polluters and poor folks, or we can have a green growth alliance that includes everybody. And I think we gotta pick the right way. Last thing I want to say is this. This idea that's now, according to our friends in the oil industry, a radical, horrible attack on the free market. I have in my home these two small, ungrateful, unemployed people. I don't know how they got there. I don't know. But there they are. And it turns out that they often make messes. And you know what we do? Horrible, radical, I guess socialist parents. We ask them to clean up their own mess. I didn't know that was wrong. I didn't know I was evil. I didn't know that they're supposed to make messes and that everybody else is supposed to clean it up. I thought, and I was raised, if you make a mess, clean up your own damn mess. That's how I was raised. Now, we got oil companies and big coal dumping megatons of carbon in the atmosphere, cooking our planet. And all we're saying is, it's going to cost a lot of money to clean up this mess. You're the polluter, you should pay. You're the polluter, you should pay to clean up your own mess. And now somehow we are, Satan's spawn. I don't understand that. No other business gets to pollute for free. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine going to a small business? Can you imagine going to a little restaurant or something and paying your bill, and as you walk outside, you notice that they just have a big wheelbarrow full of garbage, and they just walk it out and dump it in the highway? You say, wait, hold on a second. You can't, the cops would come in. You can't just dump all this garbage out in the middle of the road. You gotta pay. You either gotta pay to have it hauled off, you gotta pay a fine for polluting. You can't, you socialist. You're messing with my profit margin. How can you possibly expect me, a restaurant owner, to make a profit if I have to pay for my pollution? I'm gonna dump it in the road and you figure it out. This is how insane this debate has gotten. You even personally can't pollute for free. You can't walk down the street and throw a gum wrapper in the street. in front of a cop. They say, hold on a second, you picked that up? I don't want to. Pick it up or pay a fine. Officer, you are a socialist. Why should I pay to pollute? Big oil companies don't. Why should I? I mean, can you imagine civilization if everybody else did it the way the big oil companies did it? So we're not doing anything radical. Maybe someday we'll get to do something radical. This is just good home training for oil companies, okay? So let's get out there and win this thing. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.